Today I'm going to show you how to make this crochet narwhal. I'm using US terms in this video, and I'll be using a 6.5mm hook as well as number 6 super bulky blanket yarn in blue and white, but you can use any color or yarn and hook that you have as long as the hook and yarn size match. You also need scissors, stuffing, a yarn needle, and if you're just starting out, I also highly recommend a stitch marker. I will be using 18mm safety eyes for my narwhal, but you can replace them with a similar size or make the eyes out of felt, buttons, or even yarn. Now that we have everything we need, let's get started. So first, let's start by making the horn. So grab your white yarn or whatever color you're using to make the horn, and we're going to make a magic circle. So start by pinching your yarn between your thumb and pointer finger, then wrap the yarn around the pointer and middle finger, forming an X. Then you're going to grab your hook, have it facing upwards, and go underneath that X. Then turn your hook towards the middle finger and grab that lower strand of yarn on the middle finger and pull it under the X. Then turn your hook again upwards and then go back over the X this time. Grab that lower strand of yarn, this time in between the two strands of yarn on the middle finger, and pull it through the loop on the hook. And that's how you make a magic circle. If you do need more help with the magic circle, I do have a longer, more detailed tutorial that I'll link in the description below. So next, we're going to make 4 single crochets inside of the magic circle. So insert your hook through that circle, and then grab your working yarn with your hook and pull it through that circle. Now you should have 2 loops on the hook. Grab that yarn again and pull it through the 2 loops on the hook. So we're going to repeat this again 3 more times. So again, for the magic circle, grab the yarn, pull it through the magic circle, and then pull the yarn for the 2 loops on the hook. So let's do this again. Go through the magic circle, grab the working yarn and pull it through the circle, and then for the 2 loops on the hook. So one last time, we're going to go for the magic circle, and then we're going to grab the working yarn, pull it through the circle, and then grab the yarn again and pull it for the 2 loops on the hook. So you should now have 4 single crochets inside of this magic circle. So grab that shorter strand of yarn that you have left over in the circle and then pull on it, and that should tighten up your circle. If at this point you're finding you're having a hard time following along, I do recommend practicing your single crochets and learning your basic crochet stitches first, which I will link those 5 basic ones that you should know in the description below. So now before we start on round 2, we're going to place our stitch marker into the last stitch that we just made. A stitch looks like 2 strands of yarn running across the top, or a V shape, and the last stitch that we made is the one connected to the loop on our hook. So we're going to place it through those 2 strands of yarn, just like that. And then let's clip it into place. And for round 2, we're going to be doing 4 single crochets again, but this time in the back loop only. So we're going to skip that knob in the front and then go into the first stitch. So remember how I said that each stitch is 2 loops running across the top? So usually we go through both loops just like that to make a single crochet, but when we're going for the back loop only, we're going to skip that loop in the front and only go through that back loop. So skip the front loop, only go for the back loop. And that's where we're going to make our first single crochet. Treat it like a magic circle, pull the yarn through it, and then for the 2 loops on the hook. So we're going to do this 3 more times for this round. So once again, we're going to skip the front loop, only going through that back loop, and we're going to treat it again just like the magic circle. Insert our hook, pull the yarn through it, and then for the 2 loops on the hook. Once again, for the 3rd stitch, we're only going to go for the back loop only. So going through that, we're going to grab the yarn, pull it through, and then for the 2 loops on the hook. Finally, we're on our last stitch, so let's remove our stitch marker. And once again, we're only going to go for that back loop only, so go for that back loop and pull the yarn through, and then for the 2 loops on the hook. So once again, we should be left with 4 stitches in this round, and then we can go on to round 3. So before we go on to round 3, let's grab our stitch marker and place it into that last stitch that we just made. And for round 3, we're going to be doing 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and we're going to repeat this 2 times for a total of 6 stitches. So going into that first stitch, this time we're not going for the back loop only, so we're going to go for both loops on the hook. And we're going to grab the yarn, pull it through both loops, and then for the 2 loops on the hook. And then again, we're going to go into the next stitch, this time again going through both loops. And this time we're doing increase, and what that means is we're going to be doing 2 single crochets inside of the same 2nd stitch. So again, make a 2nd single crochet in that same stitch. Now go into the 3rd stitch, we're just making 1 single crochet. And then in that 4th stitch, just remove that stitch marker. And again, we're going to be doing an increase, so that means 2 single crochets in this 4th stitch. So go through the stitch, make 1 single crochet, and then make a second single crochet for an increase. And now we should have 6 single crochets in this round. So let's grab our stitch marker and place it into the last stitch that we just made, and we can go on to round 4. So for round 4, we're just doing 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around. So again, going through both loops to make our first single crochet in that first stitch. Then in the second one, again, we're just making 1 single crochet. Again, 1 single crochet in that third stitch, 1 single crochet in that fourth stitch, 1 single crochet in that fifth stitch, and then let's remove our stitch marker and we're going to make 1 single crochet again in that sixth stitch. So we should be left with 6 stitches total once again, and then let's place our stitch marker into the last stitch that we just made, and we can start on round 5. And for round 5, again, we're just making 1 single crochet in every single stitch for a total of 6 stitches again. So going for that first stitch, again, we're just making 1 single crochet. So grab the yarn, pull for the stitch, and then again for the 2 loops on the hook. Same thing with the second one, 1 single crochet. Same thing in the third stitch, 1 single crochet. Same thing in the fourth stitch, 1 single crochet. Same thing in the fifth stitch, 1 single crochet. And finally, let's remove our stitch marker, and this should be our 6th single crochet inside of the 6th stitch. So again, we should have 6 stitches total in this round. And now we can start stuffing, so grab a little bit of stuffing and press it into the very tip of your horn. Make sure you don't overstuff though, otherwise it will stretch out your stitches. And then we're going to grab our stitch marker and place it into the last stitch that we just made. And this time we're making our final round, our 6th round. And again, we're just making 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, 1 single crochet in the third stitch, 1 single crochet in the fourth stitch, 1 single crochet in the fifth stitch, and finally let's remove that stitch marker and make our 6th and final single crochet in that 6th stitch. After that, finish doing any more stuffing that you may need to do to fill up the rest of the horn. And then we're going to fasten off. So to fasten off, we're going to grab the working yarn and pull it for the loop on our hook. And then we're going to want to leave maybe around 2 feet of yarn to use later to sew the horn onto our whale. And we are done with our horn. So now we need to make the body of our narwhal, and how to do this is exactly like how I made the whale. And I already have a full step-by-step tutorial on how to make the whale where I do basically every stitch with you and explain everything. So if you are a beginner or find that you need more help, I definitely recommend hopping over to that tutorial, which I will link in the description and maybe somewhere on the corner of this video. After you're done with that, you can come back for how to attach the horn onto the whale. Otherwise, I'm just going to do a quick summary for those of you who don't need that detailed of a tutorial in this video. So here's a quick summary of how to make the body of our whale. So start by grabbing the color that you want to use, and we're going to make a magic circle. Then we're going to make 6 single crochets inside of that magic circle. Grab that strand of yarn you have left over and pull it tight. Then for round 2, we're going to be doing an increase, which is basically making 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And we're going to repeat this 5 more times for a total of 6 increases and 12 stitches total. For round 3, we're doing 1 single crochet and then 1 increase. And we're going to repeat this 5 more times for a total of 18 stitches total. For round 4, we're going to be doing 2 single crochets and 1 increase. And then we're going to repeat this 5 more times for a total of 24 stitches total. So for round 5, we're doing 3 single crochets and then 1 increase. And we're going to repeat this 5 more times for a total of 30 stitches total. For round 6, we're doing 4 single crochets and then 1 increase. And then we're going to repeat this 5 more times for a total of 36 stitches. For rounds 7 through 12, so the next 6 rounds, we're just doing 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around for a total of 36 stitches. And then in the 13th round, we're just doing 4 single crochets and 1 invisible decrease. And we're going to repeat this 5 more times for a total of 30 stitches. And like I said before, if you're finding that you need more help or more of an explanation than what I'm giving you here, go ahead and hop onto my full step-by-step tutorial on the whale. I explain everything in detail there. For round 14, we're just doing 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around for a total of 30 stitches. For round 15, we're doing 3 single crochets and 1 invisible decrease. And we're going to repeat this 5 more times for a total of 24 stitches. For round 16, we're just doing 1 single crochet all the way around for a total of 24 stitches. For round 17, we're doing 2 single crochets and 1 invisible decrease. And we're going to repeat this 5 more times for a total of 18 stitches. For round 18, we're just doing 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around for a total of 18 stitches. So now we're going to attach our eyes, place them between rows 7 and 8, and they should be around 15 stitches apart. Then start stuffing the body of your narwhal. Then grab your hook again so we can work on round 19, and for round 19 we're doing 1 single crochet and 1 invisible decrease, and we're going to repeat this 5 times for 12 stitches total. For round 20 we're just doing 1 single crochet in every single stitch for 12 stitches total. Continue stuffing to fill up the space that you just made. For round 21 we're just doing 1 invisible decrease in every single stitch for a total of 6 times and 6 stitches. For round 22, we're just doing 1 single crochet in every single stitch for a total of 6 stitches. Finally, add any last stuffing that you might need. And then for our last round, round 23, we're just making 3 invisible decreases. Fasten off and sew up the opening of your whale, and you are done with the body of the whale. Once again, if you find that you needed a little bit more help or a little bit more of an explanation on any of these things, go ahead and check out my full step-by-step tutorial on the whale. So to make the tail, once again, we're going to start with a magic circle. Then we're going to make 4 single crochets inside of the magic circle. Tighten up the circle. Then for round 2, we're going to make 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and we're going to repeat this again for a total of 6 stitches. For round 3, make 2 single crochets and 1 increase, and repeat this again for a total of 8 stitches. For round 4, make 2 single crochets and 1 invisible decrease, and then repeat this again for a total of 6 stitches. For our 5th and final round, make 1 single crochet and 1 invisible decrease, and then repeat this again for a total of 4 stitches. Now fasten off and leave around a foot of yarn for sewing. Then make a second one for a total of 2 tail pieces. To make the fins, again start off with a magic circle. Then make 4 single crochets inside of that magic circle. Tighten up that circle. Then for round 2, make 4 increases for a total of 8 stitches. Finally, for round 3, make 1 single crochet and 1 increase and repeat this 3 more times for a total of 12 stitches. Fasten off, leaving around 2 feet of yarn for sewing. And then make a second fin for 2 fins total. Once you have 2 of both the tail pieces and the fins, we can move on to the last step, which is sewing them onto the whale's body. So once again, I'm just going to briefly go over this. So if you find that you need a little bit more explanation, please check out my full-length step-by-step whale tutorial. So the bottom half of our whale should be where the 15 stitches are. So the eyes should be closer together near the bottom part of the whale versus the top of the whale. We're not going to stuff our fins, instead we're just going to fold them in half and sew them directly across flat. So our fin should be attached to the body of our whale 2 stitches below the eye and then 1 row over. Starting from here, attach your fin and then work down towards the back of the whale. After you're done securing this fin to the whale, do the same exact thing on the other side with the other fin. Once again, if you need a little bit more in-depth instructions on the sewing process, please check out my full-length whale tutorial. For the tail pieces, attach them both to the tip of the whale's body like this. So for each tail piece, I usually start at the middle of the tip of the whale's body and then sew up the side. After you're done sewing on both pieces, we just need to attach our horn. So your horn should be centered to your eyes and it should start between rounds 2 and 3, so 1, 2, and it should end between rounds 5 and 6, so right at the end of round 5. And we're just going to sew in a circle around the horn, so pull the yarn through the body of the whale. Make sure that it's centered to your eyes and then insert the needle back for the horn. Then reinsert the needle for the same place that you first exited through in the body and then move 1 round or 1 stitch over, moving in a circle. Then once again go through the horn and then again insert your needle for the same place that you exited through in the body and then move 1 stitch or 1 round over, working in a circle. So you're just going to continue doing this all the way around. When you're almost at the end, add any extra stuffing that you might need before you sew the whole thing closed. Then finish sewing it up, and if you feel like it needs a little bit more security, you can go around the horn again. And when you're ready to secure it, leave a little slack in the yarn and then pull the needle through, and then knot the yarn a few times before pulling the knot for the body of the whale. Push down on your plushie and cut off the excess yarn, and then puff up your plushie to hide the yarn within it. Congratulations, you finished your narwhal! Let me know what you named it in the comments, and if you liked this tutorial, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe even hit that thanks button. It really helps me out so much and lets me keep making content like this for you. Until next time!